Leona Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by the Honda New Rider Programme.
Welcome to episode 10 of the Leona Graham Podcast, sponsored by Honda Motorcycles and the Honda School of Motorcycling, helping you to get on two wheels by spreading the cost of your motorcycle, training, test and safety equipment. Speak to your local Honda dealer for more information. On today's episode, I'll be speaking to drummer Mathew Priest from legendary Britpop band Dodgy, all about their iconic hits Good Enough and Staying Out for the Summer. And he'll be telling me the very surprising and hilarious story about how he was the inspiration behind the album Unfinished Monkey Business by Ian Brown of the Stone Roses. Don't go anywhere, because you don't want to miss that. You'll also get the chance to win a pair of tickets to see Dodgy live on their current UK tour, as well as a signed copy of their brand new single, Hello Beautiful. And I'll be catching up with my friend and colleague, journalist Anna Geary, who has recently moved to Manchester and has taken over her boyfriend's entire house with her clothes. I can't say I'm surprised. Now, music news with music-news.com. Sam Fender has scooped the biggest vinyl album of 2025 so far. He's beaten off competition from Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Pulp, whose album More is at number 6 in this chart, Oasis with What's the Story Morning Glory at 7, even Fleetwood Mac's Rumours, which has been around for decades, is still in this chart. That's at number 8. But Sam Fender, the biggest vinyl album of the year so far. More on this at music-news.com. Now, a band bringing out an album next year, hoping to make the vinyl top 10. It's Dodgy, and Math from the band is my special guest.
A-side.
Please welcome to the podcast, Mathew Priest from Dodgy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, you know, it's a lovely surroundings here.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Very nice.
Now, it's the return of Dodgy. What's been going on? Where have you been for the last 10 years? What's been happening?
We've been playing. It's just that the last album we released, we're really happy with. Well, most of it, what we're fighting for. But things have changed so much since when we first started releasing albums in the 90s. And, you know, when you released albums in the 90s, we were very lucky. You'd have an album and it would last a good year afterwards. You'd have singles released off it and tours. But now people release albums and it goes, and it just drops off a cliff. It goes.
Right.
I mean, even the big bands, you know, they've released an album. And that was kind of like, and it kind of puts you off a little bit of recording albums. But we've been playing together non-stop, really. We don't stop because we love playing with each other and we have a good time. But then we started talking about making some more music. So, yeah, it's great. And it's, you know what? It feels like the best one we've done. It really genuinely does.
And, of course, you're touring that at the moment.
We're touring the new single, Hello Beautiful. We're going out on tour for that. And then the actual album's not coming out until May the 1st next year, 2026. But we're going on tour with Black Grape as well, which is going to be good fun in December.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's coming up in December?
That's December. So UK tour, then a month off, and then on tour with Black Grape.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the beginning? How did you guys meet? I mean, how did it all start back in, was it 1990?
Well, me and Nige... We were in rival towns in the suburbs of Birmingham. He was from a place called Redditch, and I was from a place called Bromsgrove. Well, I'm not from that place. I'm from the Black Country originally, and they were rival towns. They used to fight each other, Redditch and Bromsgrove. But Redditch was essentially built its birth came about because Austin Rover was, I mean, in its peak, it had 40,000 people working for Austin Rover, and it was an overspill town. It was for people to live in, for Austin Rover. But anyway, we met up. I was in a band and we needed a singer, and sort of 1986, and it was around the time of the Cults and U2 and all that kind of stuff, and he turned up looking like Billy Idol. He looked amazing. He was like 6'1", blonde spiky hair. He had this kind of gravelly voice, and we bonded over Infected. I don't know if you know that album. It's a phenomenal album, and he couldn't believe that a kid that was a couple of years younger than him knew this album, you know. And I couldn't believe a bloke that looked like Billy Idol like there. And we bonded, and then from then we formed, and then he gave me the ultimate. I was, as I said, I was a few years younger than him, and he was already on the path. He had a fiancée, he had a car, he had a job at Austin Rover, quite a good job at Austin Rover. And he said, "No, I'm going. I'm leaving. Do you want to come with me, Matt?" And I was like, don't tell my mum. She thinks I'm going to uni, you know. So I had to convince my mum, and I convinced my mum, and that's it. We moved down to London, and within year or so, year and a half, we met Andy, and then we got signed. And that was around about 1990.
Your mum's like, oh, thank goodness.
Well, she was so against it, you know, because of
So you
course
dropped
she
out
would.
of uni, you never went?
I didn't go to uni, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I can imagine your mum not being too pleased with that.
Exactly. You know, he was the first kid in the family to go to uni, all that kind of stuff. But
You had a place booked?
No, but I mean, I didn't do too well at my A-levels because I was so in the band. I was me and
Your
Nigel.
head was already elsewhere.
My head was elsewhere, exactly right, Leona.
And where did the band name come from, Dodgy?
We were living in Hounslow West, and it was a peak of hedonism, you know, the whole dance music and primal scream. And and we went into London one night, and let's say we were enhanced. And we thought it would be hilarious to call ourselves Dodgy, you know, dodgy T-shirts, dodgy records. And it was because of that time, it was the whole loss of ego thing, because of the psychedelics and all that kind of thing. And calling yourself, being self-deprecating was kind of the thing, you know. Was to us anyway. Not to be pretentious.
Right.
That's what the whole rave culture, ecstasy thing came about. Was about not being pretentious and having a good time and having good fun. And we were certainly coming out of that. And it stuck.
I mean, I've just completed a massive thing where I work as a radio DJ for Britpop
Okay.
Summer, and obviously Oasis coming back, and
Oh, yeah.
and it has sparked a lot of Britpop bands to come back. How do you feel about that? Would you consider yourself part of the Britpop movement?
Well, it's a weird one. We didn't know about Britpop until we did an interview in Germany. We were on tour in Germany.
What year was this?
Would have been 94.
Okay.
And they said, so what is this Britpop? And we were like, you know, because he was from Norway.
What do you mean?
And we're like, well, we don't know. What do you mean? And it had taken a hold as a word and as a idea. It took hold quite quickly. And we didn't know anything about it. And so, yeah, we're happy to surf that wave because there was a lot of excitement about it. But you look back on it, and it's a bit of a misnomer because the 90s was about the Prodigy and the Stereo MCs as well, and the Manic Street Preachers and Radiohead and loads of fantastic bands that you couldn't necessarily put into this white boys with guitar, Oasis, Blur thing. And so when people say mid-90s and they say Britpop, I mean, would you call the Prodigy Britpop? I mean,
I wouldn't know.
you know, Firestarter's probably one of the greatest tracks from the 90s. And does that get sidelined?
I'd
or-
put that in sort of dance music. There's a whole genre of dance 90s as well.
Yeah, I know, but
Britpop to me is more sort of guitar.
yeah, exactly. And it's a weird one. It's you get lumped in with things, and because we had guitars and we played it, but we never felt part of it at the time.
Did you see Oasis, or you're not a massive fan, or?
I saw them at the 100 Club. You know,
Wow, what, when they were quite small right at the beginning?
they were doing a co-headline tour with a band called Whiteout from Scotland, who we knew. And we knew different people connected with Oasis, so I saw them at the 100 Club, and wow.
Wow, that's pretty
Route
cool.
1, rock and roll. You just looked at it and went, of course they're going to make it. Of course Liam's going to make it.
And seeing bands in their early days, we just had a chat before this that I think I may have seen you when I was at university. My memory of university days is a bit hazy.
I know.
But you played there in the early 90s when I was still at Warwick University.
Right.
So who were you playing alongside then?
Manic Street Preachers, I remember, Warwick University. And it's the first time we played with them. And they'd just come onto the scene with Motown Junk. And they were really mouthy in the press and really gobby. And we thought they'd be really gobby and quite confrontational in the dressing room. Because we had to share a dressing room. And they were quite as mice. Quite
Often
nice.
the way.
And really nice and gentle. And whenever we see Nicky, even now, he's always very nice and says hello and stuff.
B-side.
Coming on to the song Good Enough, which, I mean, I've been at the same radio station for 25 years. I've been playing that song for 25 years.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the making of that song? How did it come about?
It's Nigel, really. Nigel is kind of our main creative source within the band, certainly with music and melodies and things like that. And he's always on the lookout for different music and different styles of music and how to make that music. And I think he'd be getting into DJ Shadow and different sampling bands and stuff, and rap bands and hip hop bands, and I think he just bought himself a sampler, and he was trying out the sampler with the drum beat, with the lead Dorsey drum beat, and don't and it was a mistake, don't. And that was how that bit came about. And then just Nigel, the way he is, he's a genius songwriter, and he wrote good enough around that, brought it to the band, and it was pretty much recorded within a day or two, really. We knew it was just because it was, to me, I'm the sort of person who brought a lot of soul music to the band, and to me it sounded a bit like Tavares, Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, which didn't please Andy too much, because he's more of the Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Genesis, and Nigel's more the punk, and I was more the soul. So it's punk, rock, and soul that we brought. And we met at Hendrix. We met at Hendrix at the Who. That's where we met, in the middle, and then we spread out from there. But yeah, I felt that this is going to be a hit.
And also, back in the day, you had a residency in Kingston.
Yeah, well, we just did it. We just did the 35th anniversary of the Dodgy Club. Basically, when we started off gigging, there was a thing called pay to play. You go and play the Lady O' Arms in Finsbury, or you play the Greyhound in Fulham or whatever, and the promoter would give you 50 photocopy tickets. And go, there you go, sell those for whatever you want to sell them for, and that's your fee. And you go, well, we don't know 5 people, never mind 15, so how are we going to do that? And sure enough, you would play to, I think it was after one disastrous gig, either the John Bull in Chiswick or the ground in Fulham, where it was literally one man and a dog, literally. I know it's a cliche, but it was that. And we just thought, F this, we can't do this. And we'd been toying with the idea for a while because of, people that we looked up to. The Beatles had the Cavern, and the Stones had Eel Pie, and the Who went to the Marquee. And a lot of bands from the punk era, they used to play the Nashville, or they used to play regularly at certain pubs. And we thought, why don't we just set up a residency, And as I said before, it was a time of hedonism and a lot of clubs and people going out to clubs and stuff. So we hit upon the idea of not advertising the band necessarily, we'd advertise a club, and we'd advertise the music that we were playing, and then hidden in there it would say Dodgy live at 10 o'clock, £2 to get in back in 1991, but we decided to do it in Kingston, which, because there were loads of colleges and, well, it was Polytechnic at that time, and Nurses College, and we just went out and we fly posted all these places, and it was rammed from the first time. I mean, admittedly, it was a tiny place, but we got it full, and we'd play there every 2 weeks, and that was our little residency.
Can you tell us your craziest performance or tour story?
Well, it's not really a tour story, it's more of a studio thing, which is where we're in the studio in 93, 94 in Rockfield, and which is a famous studio in Wales, and it's where the Stone Roses were recording at the same time. And we met them, and I was just too starstruck. I just couldn't speak, maybe because I was tired or too enhanced, I don't know. But I left, and we left and went on to a different studio up in Lincoln, and our manager called up and said, you've got someone called Caroline Sullivan from The Guardian, she's about to call you. And I went, oh wow, fantastic. About Dodgy. No, she wants to talk to you about your time with the Stone Roses and I'm like, oh. Because there was a media blackout, the Stone Roses didn't want anyone to know anything about it. And I went, oh, well, okay. And I'd just done my drums for Staying Out for the Summer. And I was on the Jack Daniels and Cokes, and she called up, and I thought, I'm just going to take the piss here. So I told her that Rennie did all the singing, all the guitaring. I told her that they were doing a cover version of Desperado by the Eagles. I told her that, and she was like, no way. I said, yeah. You can't tell anyone though. She goes, no, of course not. And she said, and I said, anything? I said, yeah, the working title for the album is called That's the Way, Aha, Aha, I Like It. Because they're massive Casey and the Sunshine Band fans. She went, no way. I went, yeah. I said, but the big one, and I was looking around the room, and our guitar tech was there. And he was just crying with laughter. And there was a poster on it. It was a classic Athena poster. of a chimp smoking a joint. I don't know if you remember that one. And I went, and I saw it, and I went, yeah. Well, the big thing is that you can't. Ian won't respond to Ian. He only responds to King Monkey. And she went, no way. And I went, yeah, that's it. You go, Ian, and he won't answer. But you got to call him King Monkey because he really thinks he's half ape. And and I put the phone down, thought, she's going to double check this with the Stone Roses tour manager or whatever. Next week, half a page in The Guardian. All my words. The King Monkey thing, the Desperado thing, blah, blah, blah. It was all there. And I had people calling me up, like journalists I knew, crying me laughter, going, she's so pissed off with you, you know what I mean? Because I said, well, why didn't she check?
Yeah.
And I got really upset that the Stone Roses were going to be angry with me.
And were they?
No, what happened was they read it, pissed themselves laughing, and started calling Ian Brown King Monkey. And Ian Brown then got the moniker King Monkey, called his first album Unfinished Monkey Business.
That came from you?
That came from me. So he's called King Monkey because I was a little bit drunk on Jack Daniels and I saw a poster of the chimp smoking a spliff. And for his name, if you see him even now in the press, he's known as King Monkey.
That is just the best story ever. I just can't believe I didn't realise that. Either.
No, not at all. I don't expect people to, but it's funny. It's just funny how things,
That is amazing.
Bonus tracks.
Okay, first live gig you saw.
Queen at the NEC. My dad took me with my brother. It was on the, I think it was on the Live Killers. No, it was on the Flash tour. But 1980, it was the NEC, and they still had the Queen Live Killers stage set up with the lights, and Freddie still had the biker gear on. Fantastic.
First instrument you played?
I'd say it was probably the drum. I've always wanted the drums since I was tiny. I've just loved the way they look. And Mum and Dad bought me just a snare drum.
How old were you?
10.
10.
Just a snare drum. Not a lot you can do with just a snare drum. There's loads you can do, but they didn't buy me a kind of book on, paradiddles and stuff. They just bought me a snare drum. So I think, drums must be.
Who's the first drummer that you thought was really good?
Keith Moon. It's always been Keith Moon.
I've just come back from Paphos and...
Wow.
Yeah, one of the nights there, they had a karaoke night.
Oh, I love karaoke.
That's what I'm going to say. Which would be your song?
Oh, I love it. Oh, see, I always do surprise a few people with You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
That would be a surprise.
Yeah, I do like that one. I could pop into a few Dexys. I do like a bit of Dexys. Sam Cooke, Cupid, because I love to sing that song. Marvin Gaye. One I did, because in Liverpool, they love a karaoke in Liverpool. And one of the best things you can ever do for me is just go out early on an evening and sit there drinking Guinness, watching karaoke in Liverpool, because they're dead serious about it as well, whilst also on the left. And I did, and I bought the house down. I did Bat Out of Hell.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
that was
my
good.
God, they love me. They gave me the keys to the city after that, I tell you. Like a bat out of hell! You've got to go, yeah, at the end of it, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, board games or video games?
Oh, board games? Yeah, I like a bit of backgammon and cribbage. I'm really old school in that sense.
Punk or funk?
Oh, my word. Oh, that's tough. For me, it would be funk. But, oh, my God. There shouldn't be an or between that. It should be punk and funk.
Best venue you've played at?
It's tough. I'd like to say Glastonbury on the main stage in front of 60,000 people. That was a pretty good venue to play. But then again, I'll say the venues we're playing on this tour. We're playing some great little venues on this tour. And it is the grassroots venues that are so important. Really, really important. You've got to go out and support your local bands and support your local venues, or we're not going to have a music scene,
Yes, well said. And favourite song by Dodgy?
The new one, Hello Beautiful. The new one. It's a really, really special song that me and Nige wrote.
So you've got some live dates coming up this week. You've got Frome, Bedford and Reading.
Reading,
You're looking forward to them?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Esquires is one of those venues I talked about, which has been around for... We played Esquires back in 91, 92, and it's still there, which is brilliant, and it's great that people of Bedford support it. And the one in Frome is a place called the Cheese and Grain, which is a legendary venue. McCartney played the Cheese and Grain, actually, just before his Glastonbury performance. So, yeah, all the greats... McCartney, Dodgy. And if you want tickets to give away for one of those, we can do that.
Keep listening for details of how to win.
Yeah.
The dramatic reading.
So imagine the lyrics to Good Enough make
Yeah.
up the script of a psychological thriller.
Okay.
And you're the twisted dark villain giving his evil speech.
Okay. I've gone aching in my bones. I've been exposed to what I want to see. The fuse is burning somewhere. It's drenched in heat. It's where I long to be. There's always two sides. You don't have to suffer. If this is heaven, then send me to hell. So stay in the light. Don't take your eyes from the prize. Hey, there goes the bell.
That was actually brilliant.
I've never thought of it like that, but it really is quite a bit like that, isn't it?
A bit dark, isn't it?
Well done for that prompt.
Okay. Well, Math, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Leona. It's brilliant. Really, really good fun. Thank you.
The Leona Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by Honda School of Motorcycling with the Honda New Rider Programme.
Competition time now, and you can win a pair of tickets to see Dodgy live on their current UK tour, plus a copy of the new single, Hello Beautiful, signed by Math. Just answer this multiple choice question. The title of Dodgy's new single, Hello Beautiful, is a translation of which of these famous Italian songs? A. Nessun Dorma. B. Bella Ciao. C. Just One Cornetto. If you know the answer, get in touch with me on my email, leona@leonagraham.com, with your answer and chosen tour date and venue. Entries close on Friday the 10th of October, and the winner will be notified on Saturday the 11th of October, 2025. Time to catch up with Anna Geary now, and she's popped down from her new home in Manchester to see me and tell me all about her desire to be a vegetable. Yes, you heard me correctly. Hi, Anna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. What have you been up to?
Well, as you know, I've just relocated up to Manchester.
Location. I love that programme.
I know. So I've, essentially just been unpacking my clothes. I've had to swap my summer and spring collection. That's had to go into storage while my winter and autumn one comes out.
How very posh.
I know.
So what's it like living in a new city?
Well, it's really exciting. It doesn't feel super new for me because I obviously kind of grew up in Cheshire and Manchester was always on my doorstep.
Okay.
But it's just exciting to kind of meet different people, be in different places. It's just been fun.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Well, the downside for me is that I won't physically see you as much.
I know.
I'm more online than in person.
Yeah.
So that's sad. But I will come up to Manchester and we'll have to go out.
I can't wait to take you and Sasha out.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
we're
gonna-
gonna have such a good time.
I
I've
know.
got a spare room. It's all sorted for both of you. I've got to think about where I'll take you. Maybe we'll go see some football.
No. I was thinking a restaurant and maybe a gig.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a gig.
Yeah.
But we have our differences in musical taste, don't we? So what are we going to go and see?
I'll choose the gig.
Oh, no. You'll be introducing me to new venues in Manchester,
Yes,
won't you?
exactly.
You'll
I'll
come
show
up
you
and
round.
You'll be showing me around, exactly.
Now, what about Halloween? Are you doing anything this year?
Well, I know one of my friends, her son wants to go trick-or-treating, so I might get roped in to dressing up and going out with both of them.
What are you going to wear?
Oh, I have no idea. I've never, this is going to sound so strange, I've never been a pumpkin before.
So you want to be one this year? What?
I don't know
The most
why.
random thing ever.
You just see it on American movies,
I've never been an
don't
apple,
you?
so... Oh, what, you've seen it in a film? Okay.
Yeah, I just think, why not? Why not?
So what, are you going to, get some kind of round...
Yeah.
Orange.
Most people do, sexy Halloween, and I'm not. I'm
You're gonna
going
go
the
as
other
a
way.
Does Mark understand what he's taken on in having you move in?
I don't think he does, bless him. I mean, I think he's slowly learning. Now he's got like minimal wardrobe space and...
Have you taken over all of his wardrobe?
Yeah,
Has
pretty
he?
much.
What? And how many drawers have you taken?
I've taken all of the spare bedroom, some of the wardrobe space in our bedroom. Oh, honestly, it's
That's
everywhere.
hilarious. Also coming up, it's National Album Day.
Okay.
Do you have any favourite albums? Are you an album listener, or do you listen to songs just here and there, or do you go for a whole album?
That's an interesting one. I think nowadays less. I'll listen to a full album less.
Yeah.
But I reckon, earlier on, there's certain albums like Shania Twain. Come on
God.
over.
Seriously?
Yes.
Shania Twain.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but that was such a cult album for many of us. Many of us were in our mum's cars listening to that from start to finish, know all the words. On that
Anybody
Come
listening
On
to this
Over
podcast that
album.
agrees with Anna, please do get in touch with me on my socials, Leona Graham DJ.
How about you?
Yes, I used to be a massive album listener and I preferred listening to music that way. But I have succumbed to the, 2-second memory span and listen to things on my phone, which is just crazy. But if we're in the car, I do try and put on an album so I can appreciate it from start to finish, because that's how I used to listen to music.
Well, it's supposed to take you on a journey, isn't it?
Yes.
From the start to the end. And I'm with you. That's how I used to consume it as well. But we've just got such short attention spans.
Yeah.
Even the way that they're making music is they're just making really small hooks for Instagram reels now.
Yeah, and TikTok, I know.
Yeah.
And that's how things chart.
Yeah.
Have you seen these new Facebook or Meta glasses that are coming out?
No.
Okay, so they're in the style of a Ray-Ban. I think they're actually Ray-Ban branded.
Oh, right.
And on the right-hand eye, you basically got what you would have on your phone, a lot of information. So if I was talking to you now in another language, I could read it translated.
Okay.
Or I could have map directions or just about anything in my glasses. Now, they claim it stops people looking down, looking at their phones, and you'll be more face-to-face with people.
Yeah.
Right? But they sent a reporter out, and she did a report and said, actually, I was chatting to someone, and I realised I wasn't actually listening to anything he was saying. I was looking at him, but I was actually looking at something on my screen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fake. It's even more fake.
But don't you think that's the art of social, that's the difference between being social and social media that we live in.
Having it on your eyeballs like that is
too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Because I find that even on a smartwatch, I could be talking to someone and then they'll look down at their watch. And I think that's a bit rude looking at the time. I'm obviously boring them, but it's because they've had a message.
Yeah.
And they can't help but glance at it.
Yeah.
So all the time we're invaded. I think these glasses are a bad idea.
Also, would you not get headaches? I get headaches if I've got that information in front of my eyes like
Yes. The only advantage I could possibly think of is if you're at a gig, it would stop people holding up their phone recording. Perhaps they could just record on their glasses.
True. Because that's annoying as well.
I think that's really rude and invasive.
Yeah.
If I have to look at the gig through someone else's phone screen, that is the worst.
And then you've missed the moment too.
Completely. Some artists now are banning phones from their gigs.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I would do that with the theatre as well.
But people don't tend to get them out in the theatre.
Well, at the end they do.
They do at the end for the encore.
That is okay
Yeah.
to do it at the end. And
People are quite well behaved in the theatre. They don't dare take them out during the performance.
No.
Can't they just do that at gigs and say, keep it in your pocket until the final song?
Have you seen this at the theatre? They carry signs around saying no mobile phones, and they walk around with these signs. So maybe they need to do that.
I was at the theatre the other night, and someone's phone screen was on, but it was on their lap. Even that annoyed me.
Yeah,
I don't want to look at your bright
blue
screen.
light.
Thanks.
Exactly. No, I'm with you.
I tell you what I saw. It's Back to the Future.
Oh, was it good?
The theatre musical. The special effects were unbelievable. I didn't like the singing as much.
No.
Special effects, though, made up for it. That's it for episode 10 of the podcast. A huge thank you to my guest, Mathew Priest, from the band Dodgy, who have a new single out, Hello Beautiful. You'll be able to catch our interview in vision on YouTube later this month. You've been listening to the Leona Graham podcast with me, Leona Graham, produced by Emily Moulton, sponsored by Honda Motorcycles and the Honda School of Motorcycling, and brought to you by Whitney Wild One. See you next time.
Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by Honda School of Motorcycling, new rider programme, helping you get on two wheels by spreading the cost of your motorcycle, training, test and safety equipment. Speak to your local Honda dealer for more information.